Hello and welcome. We're back after a little bit of a hiatus, would you say, given the fact that I think everyone's probably had a little bit of cold, flu, COVID, whatever. I know the majority of people who went to the PSG game ended up getting COVID from what we're seeing on Twitter at that point. So obviously we've got the usual faces of Michael and Duncan, and we've decided to bring in someone famous. Yeah, the face of,
don't use that word,
of the youthful side of NUFC YouTube, Binksy. Hopefully, I've got a feeling. Have you still got your high pitched scream when we score?
No, I feel like it's got a much better. Well, I'm 22 next year compared to when I was like 15 and that, but nah, times have changed definitely.
So it went down an octave then.
I went down. I still go mad when we score, but it's toned down a lot.
Well, it can do. It can do. Nice comment from that one there.
I think that's my pal, to be fair. Like,
well, yeah, it's nice to have the support on that one there. Just obviously the first thing that we are going to look at there. Obviously, we've got the usual Black Mamba. He's back there. Yeah, it's not a show if he's not there. So well done, and thank for that. One thing which we are just going to look at, and it's probably something that we do need to look at because Christ, we can't really get away from it, can we? And it's this. Our suspended / missing 11. Obviously, Callum Wilson picked up a hamstring injury. Manquillo, he always seems to be injured. Yeah. It's not really as big a miss as the other ones if we're looking at that. Bruno, thankfully, was only for one game to that, but again, we do really have a bad record when he doesn't play, so we need to look at that. Isak, fingers crossed, he's going to be back for the Chelsea game, which might be needed if Callum Wilson's still not fit. Obviously, Botman, we don't have any really idea. Elliot Anderson. But then you look at the others, Dan Burn out until January, Murphy out until January, Harvey Barnes potentially out until January, and then obviously Tonali, if we're going to class him as, because he might as well be injured, out until next season. Realistically, you could probably put out a starting 11 if we, let's say, put Karius in there. You could have a starting 11 out of those players. Yeah, and to be fair, that's a starting 11 that would probably win a fair few games and probably finish in the top half of the table. When we're looking at it, do you think, and this is the thing, do you think that this is going to be sustainable in the fact that we're probably going to have to go with the squad that we've got now, probably up until we get to January at least?
What scares me?
No, I think
I've just been polite waiting for someone to say something.
What scares me is the run of games we've got coming up. We've got Chelsea, PSG, Man United, Everton away, Tottenham away, and then AC Milan at home. With the squad that we've got, with them run of games, it's going to be a big ask, but...
Well, it is, especially when, because I'll say this, and obviously, as it was mentioned off screen there when we were talking about the Kieran Trippier incident, I don't have a problem with him doing that. He's defending the squad, and to be fair, I said this to that, look, that game against Bournemouth was a game too far for those players. They were absolutely on their knees. They couldn't give any more. The problem is we didn't have any, we couldn't change it. We couldn't refresh it. And that's where I just think it's frustrating. Yeah, Gordon's given all that he could. I think Trippier, we need to remember, I think he's 33 now, is he?
Yeah.
So you look at that, he's not the youngest, Fabian Schär's not young, Lascelles is getting on, they're all in the 30s, in that sense. So if you're looking at that, this is obviously Black Mamba. Injuries are sadly the part of the increased schedule, high press play, and increase of longer games with extra. That can be a point, but if I'm just going to bring it back to when we're looking at this, Elliot Anderson lower back, that was probably nothing to do with realistically the demands that we had on the game. Dan Bin, that was for a challenge. Yeah, unfortunately, when we look at that, Harvey Bond, that was a foot injury, if I remember. I can't remember which game it was.
It was Sheffield United.
Yeah, it was the
There we
8-0,
go.
wasn't it?
Because then, because Gordon came on it. So we look at that. That again wasn't down to that. And Jacob Murphy with the shoulder. I think Jacob Murphy probably pushed himself too far on that and says, "No, I'm fine." Yeah, but
Yeah,
the fact is, he probably would have needed surgery anyway. So rather than him still being there, getting back and stuff like that, we've done that. So yes, there are issues with regards to the demands that we have, but I do think there's also a level that there's some injuries. Like I said, the Dan Burn one, he landed awkwardly. Unfortunately, that's just something that's going to happen. Elliot Anderson picked up an issue with his back. Again, it's those sort of things that we're going to have happen. Obviously, by the looks of it, Isak is back in training, which thankfully is a good thing. Also, thankfully that we've got Joe Willock back from being injured. Otherwise, that midfield would look really, really scarce in that sense. Obviously, we don't know yet, but obviously, if we look at it, Sean Longstaff did look as if he picked up something in the game down there. And yeah, there's nothing yet been confirmed on that one there. Hopefully, it was just like, one of those ones where it was a bad knock at the game and that, and it settles down. He's got 2 weeks to recover, so put your feet up, Sean. Don't really do anything. Yeah. Get those moon boots for all those players. I don't care. Well, just for 2 weeks, you're in moon boots, you're wrapped in cotton wool, and that's it. We're not going out. If you look at it, though, and this is the worrying thing, we've got Fabian Shaw away on international duty. We've got Bruno away on international duty. We've got Joe Linton away on international duty. We've then got Emil Kraft, who's only just come back from injury, away on international duty. So we've got a few players that are away. I think Tino's away with the younger side. I think also Lewis Hall is. Lewis Hall's not that much of an issue. But again, just as we mentioned him, he's out for the Chelsea game because he's ineligible because it's a loan. Mm-hmm. So are we going to see Dumadinho at left back?
Yeah.
Or does Trippier move over there and we start Livramento at right back?
I thought it was weird that Livramento didn't start against Bournemouth. I didn't know why that was. I just assumed that he was going to start, and then obviously played Hall, played Trippier, and then brought him on at half time. But I think Defo played well. Trippier's played left back for England, and when he did against Arsenal, didn't seem like there was an issue.
Well, see, the problem is and this is where I questioned how. Not that I'm questioning how. Before this gets clipped, everyone goes, "Oh, he's questioning it." No. It's just that for me, when Livramento came on after the sub, he went at left back, and I just don't think he looks comfortable there. So he was like caught out a few times. I'm like, I don't think he's probably been trained like in training. I don't think he's played in that position. So I think it was like a little bit uneasy for him. For me, and I said this because I think Trippier was on his knee. I probably would have left Lewis Hall on unless he's picked up a knock or an injury. We don't know. But I would have kept Lewis Hall on and I would have put Livramento on at right back just to give that little bit more. And I even said, look, when we're 1-0 down, look, we're either going to go 2-0 down or, So I was like, look, chuck the kids on, chuck Diallo on, chuck Ben, I think it was Parkinson on. Well, it's something that you've got to do. Realistically, we've got some talented youngsters in there. So Alex Murphy is another one that I think I mentioned in the pre-season, because I think he played at left back against Chelsea at Atlanta and he was unreal. And then you look at him again, I think he played I think it was against Villarreal or one of the other teams that we played. He was in the back and he looked awesome again. So we've got to look at that. Question which I'm going to put on there, and obviously this will lead into the Saudi loan ban, which, we can have comments on there. But where do you think the most important area of the pitch is that we need to focus on in January? Is it midfield? Is it another striker? Or is it going for a defender?
I said in the summer that we need another striker. knowing how injury-prone Wilson is, and obviously Isaac had a big injury last season, having only them two strikers was, for me, always going to be an issue. Then, look, now we've got none of them. But
Yeah.
even in the midfield, I thought signing Tonali was a good signing when it happened, but I think you needed one more number in there, considering the amount of games that we've got. Like, I understand you need to play the same team if we're winning games and keep the momentum, but with the games Tuesday, Saturday every week, you need a big squad. So I mean, pretty much every position you could probably say, apart from fullbacks, with everyone being fit, because you've got like 3 left backs and 3 fullbacks, 3 right backs, 3 left backs.
But if we're looking into the midfield, Elliot Anderson plays there, Sean Longstaff plays there, Lewis Miley plays there, Joe Linton plays there, Bruno plays there, and then if we look at it, we can add into now, so that's 6 players into 3 positions. So it's one of those ones of, is that because I think Lewis Miley actually was a little bit unlucky to get taken off against.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I actually thought he was one of the shining stars of that game. He didn't look overawed. He was going for challenges in that he wasn't scared to pick up the ball. I just think if we're looking at it, because you look at that back line, Dan Burns out. So we've basically got Fabian Shaw, Jamal Lascelles, and Paul Dummett, or Emil Kraft. So we're looking at that. Is it maybe more important to go and look at getting another centre back, go in and maybe look at getting another striker? And I'll still say this: I wouldn't be against going to PSG and getting Hugo Ekitike on loan, for the simple reasons of it's not going to cost too much. We can probably cover his wages. If he does succeed in that loan, we can look at making it permanent. He's got talent that the club seemed to have liked when they were going for him, and he's young, so he's not going to take up a space in the squad.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good shout that, because I mean, whoever you're going to bring in will realise he's going to be behind Wilson and Isaac anyway. So getting someone to come in is going to be difficult when you think, well, I'm not going to get a game if these two are fit. So that's the trouble with bringing a striker in January, really, isn't it?
But also, I'm sure isn't Ekitike one that can go either on like the wings, so he's not necessarily an out centre forward as well.
Yeah, that's why it's a good shout. Yeah, I mean, you need young enough to think, well, come here and have a look, and you're not going to get a game at PSG. So I don't think he plays much, does he? So
no.
So yeah, that would be a good shout. It's just going to be difficult getting anyone who's decent to come when they know that I'm not going to get a squeak here unless I hit the ground running.
Well, especially if they're from Saudi, because the Premier League are looking to put a ban in play.
Yeah,
I'm gonna, because it's one of the. I think it's clear, and that's where I think that I think Newcastle United will be looking at legal options if that gets pushed through, because it's clear that this rule has been pushed through because of Newcastle United.
Yeah.
Now, for me, as long as we went to that club and gave a fair market value proposition for a loan of, let's say, Ruben Neves, then I don't see why that can't happen.
Well, Watford done it for loads of years with Udinese, didn't they?
Well, that's the thing. Watford
didn't.
But Watford didn't threaten the established top 6, shall we put it?
No.
But I was reading online as well. If they ban inter-club transfers, Arsenal are first in line to take Ruben Neves on loan. I mean, that don't make any sense, does it? How can you ban one club from taking him on loan because it's inter-club trading, and then Arsenal can come in and get him on loan because it's not inter-club trading? That mad.
Well, do you think PIF would be happy to loan?
No, they wouldn't loan him to Arsenal, but technically they could if they ban. Newcastle.
Well, then there's also this talk about ownership sponsors, a bit like what we did with Salah and obviously Saudi, in the fact that we then have to provide another 2 bids that of the same value to prove that it's the market value.
Yeah.
That's where I think it's wrong. If the Premier League at this moment in time have an independent panel that look at the fair market value, that's enough. And the fact is, fair market value is what a company is willing to pay.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like what Duncan was just saying, then is what from what I understand, maybe I'm wrong, is that it's all right for Neves to go to Arsenal, but he can't come to us because Arsenal don't have anything to do with that club.
Yeah,
because they're not owned by. So it's
a restriction of trade.
Apparently we knew it was coming. Dan Ashworth said he knew it was coming. I think it has been accelerated though.
January,
on the horizon. I think they knew it was going to happen. I think that maybe the club would be a bit surprised that it's happened.
I think
it's still got to be voted through by all the clubs. It's got to be 14 clubs who'll go for it. So,
I couldn't see Man City going for it. That's just my opinion. I just couldn't because, where Man City going to do their sort of like stuff. But if someone said this is only for loans going in, what about the loans going out? Yeah, where you've got Chelsea who bought tons of players and then loaned them out to different clubs.
Yeah,
Man U have done it. Yeah, where I think most of Man U's want to went to Royal Antwerp. A lot needs to be looked into that. I'll say this because even Eddie Howe hinted at it when they said, "Oh, will the club look at taking legal action?" He says, "You can have that viewpoint." So he didn't shoot it down. The club haven't shot it down. I also think Dan Ashworth was being very, very clever in what he did because I think he knew that this was coming down the line, but everyone was being quiet, and he went, "Well, do you know what? I'm going to just drop this out there."
Yeah. I think the thing to remember is there's a whole world out there. It's not just Saudi, is there? This is just maybe something the press have jumped on and there's no validity to it.
That's the thing.
Somebody from anywhere. Let's hopefully, they're looking over here and what they don't realize is we've got some young lad coming in from South America, with a bit of
that's the thing. It could be like, ooh, look over there. The league are going to ban Saudi loans. Yeah. Oh, by the way, we've just went and brought in someone at Lionel Messi on loan from Inter Miami or something. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It could happen. Yeah. When you look at that, and it's just those sort of things when you do look at that, I think the club's going to be quite. Like I said, I do think we need another striker because you can't. I don't think Gordon fits playing in the centre. Yeah, for a full game, maybe like towards the end of a game it can work. We'll probably need a defender in just for the sake of it. I'm not too worried about right back as Biggsy said, right back or left back because I said we've got cover. You've got Lewis Hall who can play there. You've got Trips who can move over there. Yeah, if needs be, Matt Ritchie can play there for Christ's sake. And I know that's like getting down there, but he can. So like I said, I'm not that worried about that. I just think we do need to look at bringing another defender in. I know there's talk recently of the Everton defender Jared Braithwaite, whether or not that's something.
He looks an average player, him.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? He did.
He was in. Could we test him again with an? Could we drop another like Gordon type bid in, bring him in as well?
I don't even know how much have we got left to spend this transfer. That's what I'm interested in.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
as I've said,
I'm completely lost by it all. I don't know if it's going to be like 100 million or like £5.
As I've said, French Connection UK FFP.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Worst case scenario, you overspend, and at the end of in 5 years' time, if you've not made enough money, you get an €85 million fine, and if you do it again, you might get a ban from the Champions League for 1 year.
But the fact is, have they taken any punishment against Everton yet? No. Have they taken any punishment against the 112 charges against Manchester City yet? No. So I would turn around and say...
They fined them a couple of tens of millions, haven't they? But that's for the amount of success they've got off the back of that. It's worth it, isn't it?
The Man City thing seems to have gone on forever. No wonder VAR takes so fucking long. Because how long does it take them to look into it? They can charge them bit by bit, can't they? Surely.
What they do definitely true is transfer ban. So they did that to Chelsea. They did that to Man City.
Yeah.
So we might get a transfer ban for 1 season, but if you blow all your money, then you can just batten down the hatches for 12 months and say, don't worry.
There's the other thing as well. Chelsea has been the big winners, haven't they? With the whole going to Saudi thing. That helped them out a lot. They managed to offload a lot of players when they needed money coming in. They really did all right out of it. But if we want to borrow one player, it's like a massive, we can't have that,
Like I said, and I know a lot was said of it, but the fact is, the clubs like Chelsea had the players that the Saudi teams wanted. You know, no one wanted Jeff Hendrick. No one wanted Ryan Fraser.
No, what I mean is
Yeah.
they did pretty well out of it. You know, is what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
no, that's fine. But if we want to borrow just Neves, which is the only one as far as I know we've been linked with, that's a problem. It's like, hang on a minute. So you can sell players, but you can't.
I can understand if it was something like a Lampard deal where it was probably like really favourable for Man City in terms of how they did it. That I can agree with the clubs being cautious in that, because we could just go into right, okay, then we're going to loan Ruben Neves, we're going to loan Aymeric Laporte, and we're going to loan Karim Benzema because we need them.
Yeah,
but we're not going to pay any wages, and we're going to pay maybe like 50k for the loan fee. That I could totally understand in the club's point of view. But that's why I'm saying, as long, because every transfer that we do, so do you know when Maximum went to there, it was the Premier League did a fair market value look at it.
Yeah.
And I actually think we undervalued him.
I do as well.
But that's the same case. It should be that. If we put a loan deal in for Neves, it should be looking at that and go, right, okay, we actually think that's fair market value. You're going to be paying us full wages, and you've set a fair value on a loan fee. That should be all that it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is it doesn't take much for the whole conspiracy theories to start, does it, with them all? Because like I said, Chelsea did really well. It's not like we sold Jeff Hendricks to what Al Fayed or whatever they're called for like 25 million, or at all, you know, or Ryan Fraser or any of those lads. You know, we didn't sell anyone to them, but Chelsea are allowed to offload £100 million worth, and that's fine, which is fine. But we asked to borrow maybe one player, and because they can see, oh, this could be a problem, then it's a problem. And they wonder why people have conspiracy theories, because there's a tiny amount of grain of truth into some things. That's why conspiracy theories fly.
But like I said, what's the harm if we look at Ruben Neves and let's say the Saudi league doesn't play for a certain period of time?
There is no harm in it, as long as the club that are loaning into us let him. You know, that's the problem. And they're so scared that, like you said, we're going to get, you know, Laporte and, you know, Benzema and, you know, oh, Jesus Christ.
I tell you what, I'm going to put a name out for you. This is left field of someone who, like a midfielder to go for. Mikel Merino.
Who the fuck's that?
He played for us, didn't he?
Oh, I'm from Dortmund. Sent him on loan. Then we got him on a 5-year deal. Fell out with Rafa. Then he left after a season. Now look at him.
One, yeah.
He scored in the Champions League last week, didn't he? I think he scored in the Champions League.
Yeah, he did. But there's one of them. I'm one of them. I'm like, look, this injury crisis is so far at the level that I think we can't look and go, oh well, we need to. I think the club and the ownership need to look and go, do you know what? We need to act, and we need to. I think the club will do that.
I think they're probably in the process of looking at it all now. I think they're probably looking at players now. We've got a list.
Now the fact is, could we be creative like we were with Chelsea? Now that's the one thing. I actually think we've got a very nice relationship with Chelsea, because Amanda seems to know some of one of the co-owners. I think PIF have a little link with Todd with his Clearwater company as well, and I think that's how we managed to get.
Mary, I was at Stamford Bridge as well on Sunday, wasn't he?
Yeah, but I tell you what,
on his Instagram, he sent a picture. So
yeah,
they've obviously got a
game.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? So, like you said, I think there's a bit of truth there somewhere. They obviously get on well with them. So
exactly. So you look at that, and if we can do that with other clubs, because like I said, the deal that we've got is Lewis Hall's on loan, but it's an obligation to buy next season when we'll have the money. It's basically buy now, pay later. Yeah. If it works for Curry's, why can't it work for us when we're going to other clubs?
Yeah. That's exactly it, isn't it? That's what I'm saying. They've definitely got. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we didn't get anyone from Saudi at all, and it's just all a load of nonsense.
I don't think we'll get anyone. I think we'll just look at players in Europe.
We'll bring Maxi back on loan.
Yeah, you see, now that would be a conspiracy theory. That would make perfect sense, wouldn't it? You know, he goes out there for a month and comes back. That would be, you know, set alarm bells off. But I was looking at Neves.
Do you know what? And I'm actually going to say this. Maxi was great for the time that he was here, but I think the deal's worked out so well. He's went over there, he's playing. We got a decent amount of money for him.
Yeah.
But I actually think in Anthony Gordon, we've got a better upgrade in terms of him. And I know some people might not agree, but I just think in Anthony Gordon, he's got more than what Maxi did in terms of the finish.
With Maxi, he wasn't an Eddie Howe player, where Eddie Howe likes a high press. He presses it at the defence. Gordon gives you that, where Maxi will receive the ball and try to do all the tricks and stuff. Sometimes pays off, sometimes doesn't. Got that. Sometimes doesn't. But Maxi's not a type of player to sprint at the defender and try and win that ball back. He's so attacker minded, where defensively, I don't think I've seen Maxi make a tackle at Newcastle. So I can understand why it didn't really work. I wonder how obviously only scored 1 goal last season, but he doesn't look too bad in Saudi, but that's the Saudi league. We're not speaking about the Premier League, are we?
Well, it's another thing, just to look, and this is because everyone seems to go and go, oh, it's bad, the injury. You look at that, that's where we are. We're sitting 7th, but we've played Man City, we played Liverpool, we played Arsenal, we've played Villa, we played Brighton, we played West Ham. Yeah, so if you're looking at most of the top 10, we played them, and we're sitting 7th. If you look at the goal difference as well, though, cracking goal difference, yeah, plus 14.
Yes, thank you, Sheffield United.
So you look at that, and this is where I'll say to fans, look, don't panic. We're sitting 7th.
It's weird, isn't it? Sorry, go on, Bink. Sorry.
Other than Trippier said it, didn't he? Was like, we don't need to panic.
I don't get it.
I think, yes, we lost only 4 games last season. We've lost 4 games this season. But the amount of 0-0s, 1-1, we didn't beat Palace home or away last season. We didn't beat Bournemouth home or away last season. The amount of games we drew 0-0 and drew 1-1 last season was ridiculous. And the games that we've won this season have overcome that. I think we've had a better start this season than last season. And we've lost the same amount of games this season than all of last season. But I think we lost. There's no need to panic.
Well, the fact is, we lost 2-0 to Man City away last season. It was 1-0 this season.
Yeah.
I think we only scored 4 passes.
Lost to Liverpool home and away, then lost to Villa.
I'm going to say that was probably an unlucky one there. But again, the Liverpool one, I can't remember. Was it 2 or 3-0 we lost by? It was 2-1.
2-0. Away it was 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1.
But even at home, it was 2-1 this season. But it was a very tight game. And to be fair, it could have went either way. We absolutely smashed Villa, and if you look at what Villa's like now, I think we've got them at the right time, to be fair, in that one.
Yeah.
Arsenal, we lost to last season. We beat them at home.
Yeah.
Which I absolutely love because I hate Arteta. And then if you also look at the cup, we've sent out Man City and Manchester United. Yeah. Things aren't bad. We've beaten PSG, for Christ's sake, 4-1. It was probably, for me, one of the best performances I've ever seen. But it's early in the season, fans are panicking and letting their fears get in the best of them as injuries ease. Exactly.
But I don't know why. That's what I don't. I mean, I'm totally flummoxed by it all. I mean, I found losing to Liverpool at home way more frustrating than losing to Bournemouth.
100%.
You know, yeah. It was. We just weren't on it at all at Bournemouth. It's just a bad day at the office, you know. And Liverpool really was like, where the fuck did that come from? You know, how did that happen?
It was Sven Botman coming off injured against Liverpool. That pretty much got us targeted back to centre back.
But I also think with the fact that we got complacent in that we didn't target Trent as much in Ajax, because I thought, look, if we went to target Trent, he would have got a second yellow and he would have been off another at 9.
I mean, it was
because I don't agree with the first yellow card that he got. The second one should have been. So I'm like, look, fair's fair. The fact that he was on a yellow card though helped to score because he knew that he couldn't dive in for Gordon because he knew he'd be off then. But I just think, like I said, I agree with you, Michael. That was more frustrating because I actually think we lost the Liverpool game.
Yes.
Because of mistakes that we made.
Yeah. Whereas we just with Bournemouth, never in it at all.
The lads give everything. They tried the best, but they just they need, and this is the thing, they need this 2-week break. And that's hopefully, like you said, Isak's back. Fingers crossed Botman's not too far away. But do you know what I'm going to say? Lascelles hasn't let me down.
He hasn't.
Mm.
I was very surprised.
Exactly. Yeah.
In my fantasy football team.
I wouldn't go that far, but you know.
He is. He's only 3.9 million. What a bargain.
But he hasn't let me down. Obviously, we've got James Bond at the back, Fabian Shaw, who, live and let die, by some of the pictures that he's posted on his Instagram recently. We need to look at Lewis Miley, and I'm going to say Lewis Miley might be the reason why we don't go and sign a midfielder in January.
He's just bringing him on bit by bit, isn't he? I mean, it's very Howe, isn't it? He did the same with Bruno and obviously Livramento and
from what
Paul.
I've seen
he wants
from
to do
him,
the same to them, doesn't he? Just ease them in rather than make him I'm glad he didn't have a fantastic game, because then a lot of our lot would have got very excited. And you
look at Matty Longstaff. He had that amazing game against Man United, and then that was it.
Yeah.
He could have done that against Bournemouth, made a name for himself, and then.
Right, you're saying that, but if injuries keep on continuing, Matty, we might be giving you a call for a short-term deal until January.
Yeah. Tell you what, Ryan Fraser might come back.
Now, I think a permanent deal for Fraser might happen in January, because I think he's loving Southampton. I think he's doing okay for Southampton. Exactly, and that's probably suitable for him.
He's been used to for ages.
Question I'm just going to put to you is, if you had to focus on one thing, which one would you choose this season? Carabao Cup, given the teams that are left in there, or getting through to the next round of the Champions League?
If we could win the cup and then come third and then see what happens in the Europa League, I'd be happy as ever.
Well, we're not on about what happens towards the end of the season.
Yeah. Can we go through and see how we do in the Carabao Cup and then swap?
But just on the argument I'm going to put there, the Carabao Cup final is normally the end of February.
Yeah.
You will then have March, April, and May to focus on nothing. Because I'm not going to put the FA Cup, because I actually think we should not really focus on the FA Cup and focus on if we're going to go off the cup competitions, focus on the Carabao Cup. I actually think we've got a better position. If you look at that, I think Spurs are out, Arsenal are out, Man City are out, Man U are out. Yeah,
it's Liverpool, Chelsea, West Ham, and Newcastle. They're the four.
Well, this is the thing, though. If we go knock out Chelsea, we've got to be one of the favourites, because Christ.
Well, you still got to beat Liverpool, and if you'll end up playing Liverpool in the final.
Yeah, but don't West Ham have Liverpool in their game?
Yeah, well, West Ham.
So they're going to sweep Liverpool at West Ham to one side, no problem.
Well, they might not, though, because it depends on what the fixture list's like there.
Yeah, I think go for the Carabao Cup and actually do it this time. And then, do you know what? I'd be happy with finishing in a Europa League place. I think it's unlikely.
Well, can I just point out? I'm sure the Carabao Cup gets a Europa League place.
Yeah,
even that way. But I thought
it was conference.
I think it is conference. Yeah.
Well, the fact is,
it depends what other people win, doesn't it? I think.
Yeah,
it can do. But the fact is, as long as we finish in a European position,
I'd be happy with that. 100%.
One, I'd love to finish in the Champions League again, but finishing fifth could do it this season. So that's the thing. Yeah.
Well,
I want United and drop into the Europa League, and then do the Carabao Cup. I'll take that. That'll do me.
Do you know what? I'd say, look, finish third. So let's focus on that. Finish third, get into the Europa League. We'll win that. Get back in the Champions League that way.
Absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely.
Right. I thought you meant third in the league. I was like, Christ, Mark, Jesus.
Well, you never know. But
there will be 5 Champions League places if we don't finish bottom of the group and Man United actually do what they're meant to do and don't finish bottom of their group. If we both qualify.
Oh, see, now I'm not. I'm having so much fun with that. Watching that last minute goal getting disallowed. It was Liverpool that got the last minute goal disallowed. If we both love it again.
If Man United and Newcastle United qualify, there'll be 5 Champions League places for.
Is it if we qualify for the Champions League, or if we just qualify for
if we finish, as long as we don't finish bottom, because it's all to do with points and how you do with your results against other German, French, Italian, Spanish teams. So we need to start beating teams, and Man United need to start beating teams, and then we'll get the 5th place. But if we lose and Man United lose,
so basically you've got to hope that Dortmund beat Milan and then we beat Milan on the final day, and then that's
exactly that. And Man
Which
United
again,
act like the team they need to be and actually win a game.
these things could happen. By the time we're going to PSG away, we might have, Isak back. Yeah. Obviously, the other good news from looking at it is that it looks like Miggy might be okay for Chelsea because it doesn't look as if it's that bad. It probably looked that way when you're looking at that and you're going, "Oh Christ, one more injury," and then Sean Longstaff. I still remember the face Eddie Howe made when Sean Longstaff went down injured. He was
wasn't it? Like,
he was probably thinking, "How many fucking mirrors have I smashed? Or how many? What more bad luck am I going to get?"
God is a Mackham.
But that's the thing, but we'll look at that. We were going to cover Southgate in England, but do you know what?
It's pointless.
I can't be bothered because
I think the blessing.
Southgate out.
Oh yeah, no, it's I'd love Southgate.
Sorry, Duncan, say that again.
Southgate out.
Oh, Southgate out. Oh, he'll go after the Euros anyway. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, the trouble is they're after Eddie Howe, aren't they?
Do you know what? I have no idea who they go after. I'd be very surprised if Eddie went.
No, he wouldn't. No way.
Well, Graham Potter's still without a job. England, yeah.
Yeah, true.
To be fair, I actually think Graham Potter might do a good job for England.
They were talking about that on TalkSport Drive with Darren Bent, and Darren Bent said there is no way Eddie Howe would leave Newcastle.
Yeah,
and go.
Eddie Howe likes.
Go to England, and then Goldstein's a Man United fan. He'd go to Man United. He wouldn't leave Newcastle and go to Man United.
Yeah,
downgrade.
I know. Yeah, I'll go to a club where the stadium's leaking. Yeah, it's decrepit.
Madness. You just wouldn't do it. You just wouldn't do it. But
no. But like I said, we'll not go off there. Southgate has his favourite. I still feel looking at that squad, Gordon should have been in there. What the heck Gordon needs to do to get into that squad, Christ knows. I think I've said he must be like Dean Southgate's missus to be not getting in that.
Didn't Southgate say he sits on the bench too much, something like that, and which is like, and everyone just went, no.
No, I think
what are you talking about? What?
I think,
sorry,
I think we said the reason why Gordon didn't get in is because when Southgate came to see him, he hasn't been sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
But you know what? And this is a thing. Black Mambas put it perfectly. I'm a selfish kid here, but I prefer Gareth doesn't pick most of our players, and I don't trust the England squad and keeping our players from not being injured.
No.
I totally agree.
In this international break at all.
Yeah, especially considering it's like, what is it, Malta and North Macedonia? I mean,
I think I'm going to watch the PSG game again on full highlights.
Yeah, I think I'll watch us beat Malta 8-0 or something. That'd be interesting.
Well, no, but you do that during the international break. You go, right, hang on, what's the highlights? We'll go, I'll look at PSG. I'll probably watch the Arsenal game again just so I can see Arteta getting really wound up again.
No, I can't watch that again. Oh, no. I just want, oh, no.
Well, that's the thing. Did you not see his smarmy little comment after the game at the weekend? Asking me about VAR. I thought it was great. They were good. Yeah. Funny that Arteta, because you won, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I see on the Newcastle ticket website, the PSG game and the Tottenham game have come up now.
So
yeah.
PSG away has come up and Tottenham away has come up. So they're the two games that I've got penciled.
What, for ballots?
No, just for 77 plus points at the minute. So it's going to drop again tomorrow.
Don't mention ballots to me.
Yeah. I've got my Eurostar booked. I've got my hotel booked. I just don't have a ticket.
Don't forget a bodyguard as well.
I imagine it's over there.
I don't know. I think it's going to be absolute carnage, to be honest. But...
Yeah. What? Yeah, out there. You mean in general before we've even kicked the ball, or do you mean?
Yeah, before the game. They're saying you've got to start entering 3 hours before the game.
Yeah.
You've got to go through airport security.
Well, you've seen the carnage in the Champions League final, for Christ's sake. Yeah, and then they were going to blame the Liverpool fans, but then the things got released and showed it was the
thing. The
coppers that was
that's a big no-no, isn't it?
You're going to be in there 2 hours before the game, 2 hours for the game, and then they'll hold you for 2 hours after the game. So that's 6 hours sat in a plastic seat in the corner of the PSG stadium, and there's no beer. It's just water and shit food for 6 hours. Honestly,
And getting
Yeah.
back from out there is
so
not easy.
tired.
No, because it's quite far out of the city centre. So
It's right
you know,
down
if
in
you-
that dog leg. Yeah, I'd rather
Yes.
just go and watch it in a bar and say fuck it. I don't even want to go to the stadium.
yeah. It's
Well,
not
you look at how many people went to Dortmund who didn't have a ticket.
Different world. I
Just
wish
to,
I'd have gone to that game. I wish I'd have planned to go
Yeah.
to
Do you know
that
what?
game.
absolutely that and San Siro as well. Love to have done
But
that.
I spoke to so many people who said Dortmund was like up there, like the best in terms
Yeah.
of with it, like
I
just
think
the
the San
atmosphere and
Siro was
everything.
dodgy as fuck as well, wasn't it?
Yeah,
The
but
Italians are nasty
San
bastards.
Siro is one of those sort of like magical sort of. You hear it, you want to go, don't you? Like the Bernabeu and
Yeah.
Well, from my
New
understanding,
Camp
also
and
with Dortmund, there was
Stadium
actually
of Light.
Newcastle fans in the Dortmund end. So there was Newcastle fans in the home end, and there was like not one bit of bother. It was just like,
Well, they've done it with Bayern Munich on the weekend. There were Bayern Munich fans sat on the home end wearing the shirts and scarves, and there wasn't an issue. Imagine if a
Yeah.
Macklin was sat next to me in the stadium.
do you know, I'm
what would you do? Tell us what you do. Go on, what would you do? Like the Man U fans when some of our lot were in their stand, weren't we? For apparently,
love that.
I think
get him out.
German football has a very rugby mentality about it, like with the fans mixing and pre-match.
Well, yeah,
stuff
exactly,
like that.
because that does happen. If you look at I think is it the Magic Weekend, which is up at St James Park in the summer. There's no sort of like segregation of the fans just all go in, they watch together and everything. That it's very what I'd call respectful and
it's funny,
dignified
isn't it?
and that. Yeah,
why can't we be like that? It's
well,
weird.
but we
In
were.
terms
So
of
if you
our own
look,
games, it's just Champions League. It turns into a bloody war zone. Like every home game that I've been to. For the
I'm
Champions
actually going
League,
to say this.
it's like, what the fuck's going on?
It was a shit game on. Well, it wasn't a shit game. We didn't take the chances, but it was a shit day for the Dortmund home game because it's absolutely pissing down. I was soaking wet.
Well, the atmosphere was shite. Of all the games this season,
I'm going to say I don't think it was. I think it started off great and it was nice, but I then think the weather and the performance and that just sort of like just.
But like
this is the thing.
PSG
If you're not
game,
getting the PSG game, we got that performance and it then fired the fans up and like it was like back off each other. But when we started slow and it was a bit off the players, that sort of fed into the crowd and that it did pick up a little bit in the second half, to try and gee them up.
The Dortmund fans, you mean?
The Dortmund fans, unreal.
Their drum, it literally you couldn't hear a thing apart from this big drums banging away.
But
honestly, do you think we should have something like that? Can you imagine? That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Tell you what,
not
you want it. You want it.
Yeah, no, it's right. Like right behind you.
Yeah.
Put your fucking head through that if you don't stop it.
As long as
Keith Moon.
As long as it's just in the second half and it's right behind the away goalkeeper.
Yeah.
But no, I will say the Dortmund fans I thought were unreal in the stadium. Like
much better than the PSG fans.
Yeah, I thought the PSG fans were good, but like the Dortmund fans, I think I got in there in our vote and you could hear them that it was just like they went non-stop.
Volume the players came out.
So I'm going to say, again, up there with one of the best fans. I think the AC Milan fans, we need to watch out when they come here there because that'll be like the Milan Ultras and that.
Yeah, keep away. And also, there's going to be a bit of revenge as well for what they did to one of the Newcastle fans. That's going to be another shit show when they parade them through the city. There's going to be, I mean, it's going to be fucking awful. Like, I'm just going to keep well out the way of that. It's going to, don't envy Northumbria police.
When Sunderland, they do Sunderland, though, is it? I mean, that is something to behold.
That man that just said, as long as they don't have that Portsmouth bell guy, Christ, that guy was so annoying hearing throughout his bells.
What about the Sheffield Wednesday Tango man?
That Portsmouth guy's name is actually Portsmouth FC. Did you know that? That's
he changed his name.
He changed his name. Yeah, my missus is a Portsmouth spot, so I think he's been at a few games been to, and that's annoying. Being near that.
I think Sheffield Wednesday Tango Man is probably a bit before Binks's time as well. That's
well, this is the thing, though.
I might have seen it on Twitter, but.
But this is the thing. You just think AC Milan come up, they're going to have to, face Tyneside Life. Yeah.
Oh,
Geordie Josh.
They'll be asleep. When they're asleep, get in there.
Adam P.
Fucking death.
The P dog, Adam P. He'll be there. Yeah. We'll send Binksy.
I think is Duncan actually trying to incite violence here? I'm not.
Well, he's a Cockney, so what would you expect?
What's that got to do
actually,
with it?
Right. I am a Cockney. Yeah, they were calling all the Arsenal players Cockney bastards. I was like, technically they're from North London. That's not actually Cockney.
Yeah, it's not Cockneys, is it? You sounded the
close enough for me.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's all
London,
same, isn't it?
London.
I actually quite like all the Arsenal fans. I always think they're really good when they're in town.
Yeah,
they're really loud and they're really respectful, and I've never had a problem with them. And it's a shame that of all the teams,
well, no, that's the thing, though.
That we've now got a massive beef with them.
Certain amount of people on Twitter, obviously, people racially abusing Willock and Bruno.
Yeah,
so it's a shame.
But they're probably not. They're not like
they're not real fans. They've just seen a score and just thought, "Oh yeah, I'll give them a horrible message."
They're people who had like that Nophead who was on the who was on the news all this weekend because
I was going to say I think they're racist
abuse
before
at the
they're
TV.
Arsenal fans. Yeah,
exactly. But no, I do actually, because I actually spoke to quite a few of them in a pub before we came up there. One, I heard them at is it the Flying Rocket or something now? Used to be the Irish pub, O'Neill's, and I don't know what the heck Victoria's Rocket or whatever it's called now, or whatever. You could hear them there because that's their away pub, and as soon as I got off the metro, I could hear them. But I actually went and I spoke to quite a few Arsenal fans. One, I was really winding them up, especially when I see that Odegaard wasn't in the squad. I was like, you've got no chance. One, I did actually perk up a little bit when I saw that Odegaard wasn't in. I was going to get him. We've got a chance. But no, they were really carrying that. And like you said, I think Arsenal fans are canny. I just think they've got an absolute knobhead as a manager, and that's what test them.
He's like an epileptic muppet, isn't he? Like a muppet that's got.
But you then look at Spurs and you're going, I actually quite like Spurs as manager, which is frustrating because I don't really like Spurs, but I like Spurs as manager. I used to like Liverpool, but then their fans have started becoming like Klopp and being irritating little.
But Klopp's always been a knob, hasn't he?
He was all right to start with. He was all right. No, he wasn't.
He was.
My wife used to call him the smiley German.
But yeah,
doesn't call him that now. But
because it used to be, I used to hate Pep and like Klopp. Now it's the other way around. I absolutely detest Klopp, but I'm actually getting a lot more respect for Pep because of how he reacts. He'll never like whinge in that. He'll say, "Oh yeah, we lost fairly in that." He even said for the Chelsea game, he said, "Look, I think the result's probably fair." And like I said, that 4-4, one heck of a game. Yeah. If you, as a neutral, you'd watch that and just go, "Oh yeah, can we have like another 40 minutes of extra time you added on for that, just because you wanted to watch it?" So that was great. But yeah, let's get the Bournemouth game over with. We'll have 2 weeks rest. We'll try not to get into too much of a, on social media over ballots and ticketing and stuff like that. Again, point for you. Ballots. Point for you, Michael. But I do, in your point, I do get your point that there's people that you see that are going into ballot and getting the ballots every single time, and then there's people like you that aren't. So I think, yeah.
I have no idea what everyone else is getting, really. I occasionally see people on social media saying, I got, and I don't blame people. I don't have anything against people who get them. Don't get me wrong. It's just a crap way of doing it. It's just a crap.
I've got a ballot for Brighton away, and then all the other away games I've just got tickets off mates and sat in.
Do you know what? I'm actually going to say that's the one thing I do actually agree with the ballot aspect of away games. The fact that they've said we are going to have a small percentage of the allocation that we are going to put to ballot each game. Is great because let's say if you don't really have many loyalty points, this is it's a great time for you. I've only got 15, so I'm like, well, there's not really that many.
I supported Newcastle for 28 years and I got my first point this season.
Well, I went to City away.
That's how many I've got.
Well, I went to City away this season, applied for the ballot, didn't get a ticket. I managed to get a ticket on the train down. It was on the Friday though, but then got in fine. Obviously, they're on about ID checks and whatnot, but got in fine, sat in my seat, and we got beat. But
just wait, Binksy's going to get an email through from the club going, "We want you to tell me give you the ticket now." See, you've dropped yourself in it now, there, Binksy.
Allegedly, you went to say at the end of that, in case anyone is listening. Allegedly,
it was in the Man City end, wasn't it? Yeah.
That's it. Amanda Staveley is our third viewer on this. You do know that.
I'm mad that says the truth.
But no, like I said,
it's a stupid system, and I don't know why they changed it, because no one seems.
Well,
All it's doing is causing aggro. So
do you know what? The reason why I think the balloting system was brought in was to try and avoid like this almighty rush for people just trying to get in onto the ticketing site.
But they do that now when they come up after the resale for the season tickets come up. It's like that anywhere.
Oh yeah, but there's just a part where
controversially, I actually completely agree with everything they're doing with the ticketing. I think it's fair, but
yeah, but life's not fair though, is it? Since why should I accept that it's fair when that means if everything was fair, if everything was fair, then that would be fine. But life isn't fair.
The only argument I put on the balloting was when you're sitting in that queue, ready for 10 o'clock, you get put in that queue. It doesn't matter whether or not you were one of the first ones on there. The system just put you into a normal, into whatever position in the queue. Yeah. So that's really a balloting everywhere, because it's a case of where the system is put. But I do agree, if they're going to put a ballot and they've not put a cap on the numbers of members, then there's got to be a point where they can say, well, look, if after so many games you haven't had a look there, something needs to be looked at. Yeah, if you've got a membership and you've got someone who's went to all 10 games and someone who's went to none, then that's where...
on Twitter who's won a ballot for every single home game this season. I don't know if he's lying or not.
But the one thing is whether or not he might be going for like the highest. Yeah, because
I don't think that makes any difference, does it? But I know people who have said they've tried to spread their bets and category 1 platinum club, and it hasn't made any difference. They've just it's just the look. It is literally the look of the draw, and that's what I don't like about it. If you turn up for a queue and the queue is a mile long, then that's life, But if the fact that you got to enter a tombola, right, to get a ticket is just insane, in my opinion. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I agree.
I am not a lucky person, or I would be a multimillionaire lottery winner, right? And I've only ever won about £5 on the lottery in 28 years or whatever it's been going, right?
Yeah.
So as soon as I realized it was going to be a matter of luck, I thought, that's it. I'm done then. Thank you very much. That's it. I mean, theoretically, I might never get to another game ever again now.
Because I was lucky enough to get a season ticket 2 years ago. But if I didn't have that, I probably would never get to see a game. I drive 300 miles every home game.
Yeah.
There, 300 miles there, 300 miles back, pay for a hotel.
So do I. Well, I'm in the same, and I live in Norfolk where there is no such thing as roads. So I'm in the same thing. But the thing, you've just got to remember this for the ballot people. Now, it is no longer in my hands if I ever get to another game ever again now. When you think of it like that, and that's it, that's all there is to say. It is no longer down to me.
Well, it is, because if you poison Duncan, then you could get Duncan season ticket for that game.
Well, you can always, I was going to say, you can always.
Just the one thing, and this is just another thing which I'm going to point in it because it bugs the life out of me. People whinging about the digital ticketing.
I love it.
What different is the digital ticketing to you tapping your card? There is absolutely none.
People
just 21st century.
You just need to learn how to get your digital. It's worked every single time for me. Phone out, there you go. Ping.
It's because they've gone out. It's because they're passing it on. You've got a bloke coming out with 5 mobile phones. Going like, he wants this.
They're always old people, aren't they?
But it is.
I can't use. How would you use this? What is it? You put your phone against that.
But like people says, people don't have the phone ready. They then haven't. Oh, hang on, I need to get my phone out. Or I need to get the ticket up there.
Isn't it like people passing their phones between them as well? That's the other problem.
Can I try because as soon as you. Yeah. I did it on my watch on the last home game. Put my watch on the thing. In you go.
80-year-old bloke behind Duncan going, smart ass.
getting his A4 out.
But no, but there is that. And I'm going.
Booker has got his watch out. What's he got his watch out for?
But like I said, there is areas of the ground where it's not going in. And like I said,
I think
and this is my argument. Everyone's saying, oh, the East Stand's where it happened. Well, not to be ages, but the majority of where the older generation sit is the East Stand.
Yeah.
Mm.
And this is my
turning up way too late. 10 minutes before kickoff, it's too late.
Get there really, man. An hour and a half or whatever. You get 50% off your food and drink, man. It's a bargain, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I got loads of
Just
stuff for
order
like
all your
20 quid.
drink. Just order all your drink when
Is
it's
that
half
actually
price.
any drink, or
Yeah.
is it a certain drink?
No.
No, I think it's certain
anything.
drinks, isn't it? It's certain drinks. I don't think it's all of them.
But not the
It'll be like
majority of it.
the pints of beer, all the food, all the soft drinks, all the chocolates, all 50% off. I got like a burger, chips, Coke Zero, coffee, costs like £8.
That's how I eat that.
But that's the thing, though. And it's like, why not? Because to be fair, people did it for the PSG game. Because I remember getting there about just an hour before kickoff, and I couldn't get through the Gallagher concourse to go for a wee because it was that packed. I'm like, I'm like, right, so do that. There's not one issue for the PSG game in terms of like bottlenecks or anything like that. So I'm going, right, so there you go. That's just proved it.
Proved it works.
You can, it does work.
Yeah, it does work. Yeah.
I absolutely love the digital ticketing because it's so easy. Bang, there you go. And I'm not there thinking, oh, hang on, have I put my ticket in my pocket? Because I know I've got my phone there.
Yeah.
And for cup games, even better. There you go. They send it, download, done.
The only downside to it is I used to leave my ticket up with Mark. So if I couldn't come up or couldn't be bothered to drive up, I'd say I'll just give it to whoever. Whereas now they're putting a limit on the amount of times you can pass it on. So there is a couple of times this season where the seat next to Mark is sat empty, where I don't go and I just swallow.
I'm going to say I know the reason why they've done that. And that is pure.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Because if they can see that there's someone who's
5 season tickets and sell and don't go themselves and sell the 5 ticket offs for a
But this is the thing with Dublin. Let's say you give it out 10 times, but it's to 2 people on and off. Yeah.
80 quid a ticket when it's cost me 26.
Wait, no, but I think if you did that and just give it, the club wouldn't be bothered because they'd say, all right, it's just 2 people. If they see a different person every single game, that's when they'll start looking and going, hold up here, something's not right. And that's when the club will start looking at it.
I know lots of people who do that, though, like Duncan does. You know, I mean, it's limited, but I know lots of people who do give their tickets to other people who are season ticket holders because they can't go. So
yeah, well, Claire, who you've met before, she's done that a couple of times, and all you do is go on the site, pop the supporter number in that you're doing it, that, they get an email, download, done for that game. It's that easy.
If that's your ticket, you should be able to do whatever you want with it, as long as it's not something to an away fan. If you've
got my money.
Yeah,
I paid for my ticket up front. It's all paid for, done. You've got my 800 quid, whatever. If I want to give every single seat away, that's up to me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's your seat. So
yeah.
To be fair, I've not seen a different person since last season. Like every single person around me has been the exact same person every single time.
We are normally, aren't we, Mark? It's just if I don't go or if the person...
Oh no, I totally understand. Like with you, because like I said, you are traveling up from Essex, every weekend for a game. There might be a game where you just physically can't attend.
Boxing Day being one.
Yeah, so there's that one. So you look at that. Seeing that there, Michael, are you available on Boxing Day? Because you might.
I haven't thought about it, honestly. Oh, we're playing Forest, aren't we?
It's a 12:30. Do you know it's a 12:30 kickoff though? So that's
we might be visiting family anyway, so I might have.
I'm not doing Fulham either, which I think is about the
16th for Fulham.
16th. Yeah, I'm not coming up for that one either. So
because all the other ones are round Christmas.
Do you know what? I'm just glad that we're not playing on New Year's Day because I remember playing Leicester City at home on New Year's Day.
Well, was never any.
No, but there was never. Yeah, we're away to Liverpool. But I remember this. It was when I was still in level 7. The man who we don't really want to mention was still the owner. We ended up getting beat 3-0. And I'm like, was it worth me spending an absolute fortune on getting taxis into Newcastle?
I get dropped off in town and then picked up in town.
Exactly, because there's like no buses running where I'm like, great, it's Boxing Day. Yeah, it's 12:30, so it means I can go early. Yeah. Bigsy's thinking, great, I can watch the match, and then I've got the rest of Boxing Day to get absolutely blathered.
I've got absolutely fucking hammered.
You'll probably still be hungover on Christmas Day, so
probably.
Liverpool away on New Year's Day.
Yeah. That's always been the best thing about Boxing Day, isn't it? It's a tradition, you know, pub day, isn't it? Boxing Day, so it's always good. Home games on Boxing Day
It's
are
on
always
TV
really
as
good.
well. It's on Amazon Prime, so
Which one?
The Forest.
on Boxing
Oh,
Day
is it?
is all
Oh,
on
okay.
Prime.
Same with the
Well,
Everton away, I think.
Yeah,
that's
Everton
on
away is on
Amazon.
Amazon Prime, so you'll
Yeah.
For those you'll get the Sky notification about 2 minutes before you see the goal on Prime.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Dear.
Yeah, but I wonder whether it'll be the same for watching the game live, or we get the notification too before we actually see the goal on the pitch.
Yeah. You want to try watching it on a Fire Stick? That's even worse. You're about 3 minutes behind.
But no, it's one of those things. It's great. Yeah, let's just, and I said, let's just enjoy it. Yeah, enjoy the Champions League games while we've got them. Basically, probably agree. PSG was probably up there with one of the best games.
I think that was the best game, one of the best days of my life. Never mind, just best day.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
the atmosphere, the game.
For one of the first times in my life, I went into that workplace 7:30 in the morning, fucking buzzing. And everyone knew we won and that. Everyone fucking can tell I'm buzzing.
See, you did that the next day. I didn't. I had to wake up. I think I'd put in a late start. So I started at 11. I was waiting for Mum, but I was drained. Like that night, that day had took every ounce of energy from me that it could possibly get. And I'm just like, I can't last the full. I'm like, I'm dead. I'm absolutely gone on that one.
I couldn't drive home till about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I had no voice. I was trying to talk on my Apple CarPlay, and I just sounded like I totally lost my voice. But yeah,
it was like one of the
unbelievable
for me. There's an atmosphere as well, and like
even
the
game.
Yeah, well, no, that's what I said.
Even in the concourse, it was absolutely bouncing. It was like the Spurs game for the takeover in the concourse. I never heard a chant in the Ashley era. And then I went in the concourse for that Spurs game. It was bouncing. Never really happened again. And then
I also remember going to my seat and I'm like, this is 30 minutes before kickoff and everyone's in the seat.
Yeah,
I think
that's
like
unusual,
15, 20 minutes, the noise was up, the flags were going and stuff like that.
Again,
and I'm going to say for both games, for both the Dortmund and the PSG games, big hats off to War Flags because they absolutely smashed it out of the park for those two games. And you're sort of like going, I can't wait to see what you're going to do for the AC Milan game because
that could be a defining game, could be third, second, even first.
Like I said, but
game of the group. Yeah,
War Flags just absolutely smash it in that, especially for the Dortmund game because we need to show Dortmund, look, you think your displays are good.
Yeah.
You ain't beating War Flags yet.
Maybe we've got the wrong attitude about maybe we should lean into it and, no, we want to win the Champions League this year and the Premier League. No, we want more. Maybe we've got it wrong. Maybe we should be like demanding that, if we don't, Eddie out, if we finish fourth, maybe we should all start being like that. Maybe it makes you a happier person to be like that. I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe we've got it wrong. So, but I agree with you. It's been fantastic. It's been a brilliant ride.
I've said
2 years ago to this.
Yeah.
How can anyone whinge about it?
Where we are now is way beyond, I think, anyone's expectations of, even though it's like within the club and the ownership. So, do you know what? If it means that we do drop back a tad bit, then it's just something that's going to have to be done. But
if a takeover had happened, I think we'd all know right now we'd be in League One.
Nah, probably Championship. I couldn't see that elite. I couldn't see back.
I just see us dropping like a stone. Everything was wrong. It was rotten all the way through. I mean, I know we've never been that far down, but I just could see it.
It didn't even look like I was going to change. Like even when we were doing so bad, there was no talk about Bruce getting sacked. Absolutely nothing like that.
That's what I'm saying. They
only signed Joe Willock. He was the only signing that summer.
Yeah.
And let's end on that happy note. But no, we'll end it there. We'll say thank you for everyone who's been involved. Thank you for watching, and let's hope we're talking about a smashing of Chelsea the next time it's in James Park. So thank you and good night, everyone.
See you guys.